Somewhere between 10,000 and 2 million years ago, this planet had big cats that would make a lion look like it was trying too hard, and not in a cool way, in a you would not survive this way. There were 8 of them worth knowing about, and one of them, the last one, lived so recently that early humans not only saw it, they probably ran from it. So let's go through every extinct big wild cat that ever existed, ranked by how deeply they would ruin your day. We're starting with one that most people think they know, the Smilodon, the saber-toothed cat, the poster child of ancient predators. And yes, it earns that reputation, but not for the reason most people assume. Here's what the documentaries always get slightly wrong. Those fangs, up to 11 inches long, serrated, and fragile. Not built for biting through bone, built for slicing through soft tissue with almost surgical precision. Think of it less like a weapon, and more like a very specific tool. A butcher's knife, not a sledgehammer. Smilodon didn't chomp down like a modern lion does. It likely used its whole body to pin prey, and delivered a precise killing strike to the throat or underbelly. It's the kind of animal that studied you before it moved. And it wasn't small. The biggest Smilodon species, Smilodon populator, weighed up to 880 pounds. That's heavier than most lions and tigers. It also had shorter legs, a more muscular torso, and a stubby tail, meaning it wasn't built for long chases. It was built to wrestle, to ambush, to commit entirely once it decided you were the one. If you're thinking of a specific person in your friend group right now, that checks out. What makes Smilodon even more interesting is that there's strong evidence it was social. It may have lived in groups, possibly even caring for injured members of the pride, which is either very heartwarming or deeply terrifying depending on whether you're the prey. And somehow it gets weirder from there, because then there's Panthera atrox, the American lion. And before you say a lion is a lion, no, it was not. Panthera atrox was not the same animal as the African lion you're picturing. It was bigger, significantly bigger, possibly the largest cat to ever walk the earth. Some estimates put it at over 550 pounds, which would make it around 25% larger than a modern African lion and roughly the size of a young polar bear. It roamed North and South America during the Pleistocene, which means it was coexisting with early humans and almost certainly hunting the same megafauna they depended on. Here's the wild part. We're still not entirely sure where it fits in the Panthera family tree. For a long time, scientists classified it as a subspecies of cave lion. Then DNA analysis threw that into question. Now some researchers think it might be closer to the jaguar lineage, which, if you've ever seen a jaguar, tracks. Because jaguars are built like a mistake. It hunted mastodons, horses, giant ground sloths, animals the size of small cars. And it didn't just survive in this landscape, it thrived for hundreds of thousands of years, until the end Pleistocene extinction event wiped it out along with most of the large animals of that era. If Smilodon was the gym regular who knew what they were doing, Panthera atrox was the person who walks into the gym and everyone just quietly moves their stuff. Which brings us to Homotherium, the scimitar-toothed cat. And this one doesn't get nearly enough attention because it's overshadowed by its flashier, saber-toothed cousins. But Homotherium is genuinely one of the most successful predators in the history of this planet. It survived for 5 million years. 5 million. For context, modern humans have been around for roughly 300,000. Homotherium outlasted us by a factor of 16 just by being relentlessly, consistently good at what it did. It looked different from what you might expect. Longer front legs than back legs, which gave it a hyena-like posture, and its teeth, while still elongated, were more blade-like than the classic saber, hence the scimitar comparison. Serrated edges, designed for slashing rather than stabbing. What really sets Homotherium apart is behavioral evidence. Fossil sites in Texas found remains of dozens of young mammoths alongside Homotherium bones, suggesting they specifically targeted juvenile mammoths and may have hunted cooperatively to do it. That's not scavenging, that's coordinated hunting strategy. It also survived in Europe until surprisingly recently, possibly as late as 28,000 years ago, which means Neanderthals and early Homo sapiens both shared the landscape with this animal. If you've ever felt like you were being watched in the dark, ancient humans had much better reasons for that feeling than you do. Drop a comment below. Smilodon, Homotherium, or Panthera atrox? Which one's your personality and why? Meanwhile, on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, meet Machairodus, the grandfather, the original. If saber-toothed cats were a franchise, Machairodus is the first movie and is considered the ancestor or close relative of basically all the other saber-toothed cats we're discussing today. And unlike its descendants, it was more lightly built, more like a modern big cat in body proportions, just with those signature elongated canines starting to develop. Machairodus was roughly the size of a large modern lion and ranged across Africa, Europe, and Asia. Not the biggest or the fastest or the most extreme version of anything, just competent, widespread, and clearly doing something right because it stuck around for nearly 9 million years. It's the founding family member of a very impressive, very dangerous dynasty. Not every legend needs to be the most dramatic version of itself. Sometimes you're just the one who started it all. But if you thought that was a lot, meet Xenosmilus. And this one is genuinely strange. Xenosmilus was discovered in Florida in 1983, from a site where 2 nearly complete skeletons were found alongside bones from approximately 100 peccaries. It was not a careful, surgical predator like Smilodon. Xenosmilus was a meat accumulator. Its teeth were different from every other saber-toothed cat. Instead of the classic long, slender sabers, it had shorter, wider, heavily serrated teeth, described by researchers as cookie-cutter teeth, and combined with a stocky, heavily muscled body built more like a bear than a modern cat. The theory is that it used those serrated teeth to take massive bites out of prey repeatedly, more like a shark-feeding strategy than anything we associate with cats. Not a clean kill, a grinding, relentless one. It lived about 1.8 million years ago in North America, and because of how unusual its anatomy was, scientists spent years debating where exactly it fit in the saber-tooth family tree. Then there's Megantereon, smaller than most of the others on this list, roughly leopard-sized. But don't let that fool you. Megantereon is one of the most geographically widespread predators in the fossil record. It ranged across Africa, Europe, Asia, and North America. It's been called a possible ancestor to Smilodon. What Megantereon lacked in size, it made up for in adaptability. It could operate in forests, grasslands, and mixed environments. It almost certainly dragged kills into trees to keep them from other predators. Behavior modern leopards still use today. It was the apex predator in numerous ecosystems simultaneously, across multiple continents, for roughly 5 million years. You know that friend who isn't the loudest in the room, isn't the most intimidating at first glance, but somehow just keeps showing up everywhere and handling every situation without making it a whole thing? That's Megantereon. Competent, quiet, everywhere. If this video is shifting how you think about prehistoric wildlife, the real scope of what was out there before us, you already know what to do. Share it with someone who needs to see this. And we're almost at the end, which means it's time for the American cheetah, Miracinonyx. And this is where things get legitimately strange in a way the fossil record rarely delivers. Because Miracinonyx looked like a cheetah, moved like a cheetah, was probably fast like a cheetah. But it wasn't actually a cheetah. It was more closely related to the puma, which means at some point in North American evolutionary history, a puma lineage essentially re-evolved the cheetah body plan from scratch, independently. This is called convergent evolution, when unrelated species independently develop similar traits because they're solving the same environmental problem. Miracinonyx had a flexible spine, long limbs, semi-retractile claws, all the hallmarks of high-speed pursuit predation. It likely hunted the same North American pronghorn antelope that forced pronghorns to become the fastest animal on the continent today. Pronghorns can hit 55 miles per hour. They evolved that speed for a reason. The American cheetah is almost certainly part of that reason. When the American cheetah went extinct at the end of the Pleistocene, the pronghorn kept its speed. Evolution doesn't take things back just because the threat is gone. So today, pronghorns are dramatically faster than any predator left in North America, still carrying the ghost of a cheetah that stopped existing 10,000 years ago in their biology. And then there's the last one, the cave lion, Panthera spelaea. And unlike everything else on this list, the cave lion is not some deep-time mystery. It is intimately documented, and not just in fossils but in art. Paleolithic cave paintings in France, Germany, and Spain show detailed, carefully rendered images of cave lions. Early humans watched these animals, studied them, painted them by firelight in caves that still exist. We are not talking about theoretical reconstructions from fragments. We have portraits. The cave lion was roughly 10 to 12% larger than modern African lions, without a mane in males. Based on both the art and the fossil evidence, It shared its world with woolly mammoths, woolly rhinos, cave bears, and the people who painted it. It went extinct around 13,000 years ago. That is not ancient history in any meaningful sense. We built the pyramids 4,500 years ago. The cave lion died 13,000 years ago. There are more years between them and us than between the pyramids and now. These weren't mythical creatures, they weren't distant. For most of human existence, these animals were the reason you didn't wander off alone at night. We've been living in a world without them for less time than you think.